In this eye-opening episode, we dissect a series of dreams that reveal deeply personal truths about relationships, self-expression, and spiritual growth. Hello, and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. So glad you're here. It's going to be an exciting week, another week of fabulous dreams.
That's what she thinks. This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you on your earth journey. That's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing right now at this very moment in time, then look no further than your dreams. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. And that's why you're here, to overcome those very specific obstacles that are shown in your dreams. That's why we say all the time, the bumps in life that are holding you back are not in the way. They are the way. To get your dream analyzed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast, fill in the form there, or simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com. That's all you have to do. And the lovely Nicole will respond to everybody who writes in. Sandy, anything to say?
Yes, we just started our new cohort for channeling, and it's a fabulous class. If you want to join a class and you want to learn how to channel, which is empowering for you, then please come join us. Michael, you want to share the details?
It's dream-analysis.com/channel. That will get you all the details about that course. And of course, if you go to that link, there is an option to book a call with Sandy just to see is the course a fit for you. It's a fit for most people, but not everybody. We'll help you figure that out. Channeling and dream interpretation, they're the two things that are it. You come here from the spirit world in order to improve yourself in some way. It is insane to not take advantage of an ability to talk to spirits on the other side of the veil and say, what am I meant to do? How am I doing? Give me some tips. Give me some pointers. Am I making the most out of my life? Because it's not your physical life that really ultimately matters. It's what it does for you spiritually, how it helps you grow spiritually. And so we can kind of be the tail wagging the dog when we look at it from this side of the veil. But when you can channel and when you can interpret dreams, you get it right. It's probably the best thing you could ever do. Sandy, do we have some dreams?
We do, and I'm excited about the dreams for this week. There's some interesting ones in the pile, so let's dive in. The first one is from Carrie, and it's titled The 11th Rose Transmission. I've gone on a weekend retreat with my husband and daughter, and we were getting ready to leave. I'm having a lighthearted conversation with a blonde, heavyset gay man who's wearing an orange shirt about what it is like not to be able to shower all weekend. Feeling eager to take one myself, he's saying he didn't mind so much. Okay, Michael, I'll let you dive in.
So the daughter is from a previous marriage, and the dreamer is with her current partner for 15 years. The daughter is 17 years old now, so that's kind of important. Husband is an alcoholic, and the dreamer doesn't drink. She meditates. And she says there's a lot of good things with him too. Now let's get into some of the symbolism. Gay men are unafraid to express how they feel. I put that to her, and she totally agreed. That's what gay men usually mean in a dream, unless you know that particular person. We see digestive system issues present because of the orange, but not a big deal. So when it comes to her, we can say she doesn't express how she feels in the relationship, but she wants to overcome her protective mechanisms so that she can express herself freely. And that's really good. She's actually doing a program to get over that right now.
Alrighty, so let's talk about what is a retreat for the weekend.
Going on a retreat is something that the dreamer would do. Her partner wouldn't likely do it because it's a spiritual thing. She's big into spiritual things. So it's about her lifestyle and his lifestyle and how they're very, very different. He does his thing, she does her thing.
Okay, and then we have a blonde gay man. So what's going on with the blonde? Anything in particular?
Yeah, so blonde is usually a very good color in a dream, but it's about purity. And typically we will see guides have blonde hair in a dream, so representing purity of thought. And I asked her, did she think his hair was dyed? And she said yes. So that means that there's an issue there. And we see the heavy set. So that's a protective mechanism. So it's like he has to overcome a protective mechanism in order to get to the point of being able to express her feelings, because it's all about her.
And then not being able to shower all weekend.
So she is in a program to heal the issues so that she can open her heart. And the showering then will be a good thing. It would be about clearing all these things, letting them all go. He's saying it like this doesn't really bother him, but it bothers her. So again, not fully expressing how I feel is the crux of the first paragraph.
Okay, perfect. Let's move on. My husband, daughter, and I are driving down the road, leaving the retreat in a natural mountain-like setting with green and trees all around us. My husband is driving, and my daughter and I are in the back seat, with me sitting to the right. My husband is implying that I'm upset about something because I have the 11th rose, which is connected to some kind of self-awareness slash spiritual system he's using in the dream. But I don't know what it means. He seems to think it's connected to our relationship or something I'm upset with him about. I feel annoyed that he's bringing this up in the car with my daughter there and ask him if we could talk about this later.
So a lot right here. The partner puts himself first. That's just a fact. He's driving and the two women are in the back seat. The partner doesn't prioritize his wife or her daughter, again, for the same reason. This is just one thing about him when I was channeling. He's able to influence how people think. He's very charming and magnetic and can create illusions that people buy into. But the part that really stands out is the partner projects by turning her issues with him into being about her personal goals. Her partner says that she would rather be with somebody who is spiritual than be with him. Now, that's a shitty man's way of making you think that his issues are actually your problem. Your problem is that you want to be with somebody who is spiritual. Absolute crap. You can drop that completely. Your problem is his drinking, his selfishness, him not prioritizing you and your daughter, his anger. Your issue is with him being a shitty partner and a shitty dad. That's it. Let me make it clear. I couldn't say, Sandy, you want an astronaut in your life and that's why you have a problem with my drinking. I'm making the point. The first part of the sentence is garbage just to obfuscate the truth in the second part of the sentence. So that's what we see with him doing at this part of the dream, or at least it shows that it hits her. The partner argues with her in front of her daughter. He does do that in reality. And one of her issues is she hates others being aware of her battles. Not that she has big battles. Her partner has anger issues. I said that before. But he doesn't want to look at any of his issues. Okay, questions?
Wow, okay. What is the 11th rose?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask. And there's no great answer to this. When I channeled on it, I think it's to do with her working on herself from the base chakra all the way up and above the chakras that we have in our body.
Very interesting. Okay. And then he seems to think that she's angry about something connected to their relationship.
Well, that's the piece I went into detail about.
Mm-hmm.
He has all his own issues. They're the issues in the relationship. He has never changed. He's had 15 years with that 17-year-old in his life. So he's been around her since she was 1. That's like right in the beginning. He never prioritized her and he still doesn't prioritize her. These are his issues. Now, the dreamer's issues are that she sticks with him, but you can't just leave somebody like that because you're just going to find somebody else exactly the same. You got to work on yourself. But he has all his issues and he tries to make out that they're not compatible because she would rather be with somebody who's spiritual. And I'm saying it's just, no, I would just rather be with somebody who isn't an ass. Could we just fix that part? Like, you take responsibility for what you're doing. The issue is not who you project I would rather be with. She has never said that to him. This is his way of throwing a stone at her, even though he's the one committing all the sin.
Very interesting. Well, we're going to continue on. Just off the left side of the road, I spot a huge mountain lion, more than double the size of what a mountain lion could be in waking life. It sees us too and stops to look back at us as we drive by. I have that excited feeling that I get when I spot any kind of wild animal, especially one that's so unusual to see. I want my daughter and husband to see it, so I tell them to look, and I'm hoping my daughter will turn around on time to see it. My husband sees it, but my daughter doesn't seem to turn around on time and maybe just gets a glimpse. Seeing it feels spiritually significant to me, and I feel really happy about it.
Okay, so this part's pretty easy. She has a spiritual leadership gift, and that's what the mountain lion represents. But do other people see that in her? Do the two most important people in her life see that in her? Does her husband? Maybe. Does her daughter? I don't think so. And that's really what it is, that she's not in a great place because the people around her don't see the gift that she's bringing to this world.
Wow, that's sad. All right, we're going to continue on. We arrive at a small wooden outbuilding in a natural setting where there are bathrooms. Yay! It's a sunny day and it feels like morning. I'm going to use the bathroom, but before I go in, I stop near the front and start automatically and spontaneously doing some kind of spiritual ritual. I may have some connection with the system my husband was referring to with the 11th rose.
All right. So there's more to the dream, but we're going to stop at this piece. So the bathroom is good. When we see a bathroom in a dream, it's about clearing all the things that we saw earlier in the dream. So I want to clear all that other stuff, clear the issues in my relationship, and I want to stay clear. And her goal is to embody her spirit self on the earth plane. Like when I asked her, we can see that kind of in the dream because she was doing spiritual rituals to get herself into a certain state. And her view was kind of like, if I can fix my relationship and I can do these other things, then I'll be in a good position to embody my spirit self on the earth plane. And I said, no, the practice is to embody the spiritual side despite life being hard. That's the way you have to get to do it. You can't take out all the problems and then say, now I can achieve spiritual nirvana. If you can do it with all the problems, then you can do it. You can't do it under any other circumstances. So it's just an interesting thing to realize that troubles in our life aren't in our way. Like we say all the time at the start there, they are the way. So she has to work on that. What else? She does a lot of things to try and make up for the way her partner is. And it's always important to realize that if someone else is failing in their role, you can't play two roles. It's not that you shouldn't try or anything like that, but your efforts aren't going to fix the damage done by the first person. Her bio dad is still around, but he's not around all the time. So that's one damage. Then we have a stepdad who knew her from a very young age and makes her feel like she's not important. That's a lot of damage right there. And there's nothing you can do for the fact that he is doing that. So you can just be yourself and be happy to be yourself, but don't think that being yourself somehow erases the damage someone else is doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the damage to the daughter, but also there has to be some damage to her, the dreamer.
Well, our damage is always from our own childhood. And then that's what we need to look at. What do I need to fix in my old childhood, which she is doing at this moment? And then when I heal that, I'm in a better place. So it's all good for her. But when you're in therapy, dreams show you the issues that are being worked on. So they seem a lot deeper and harsher. Like, here's all your problems. But we want to see that. If we're in therapy and we don't see dreams going harsh, we don't see them listing off a whole litany of you have this problem and this problem and this problem, then we know that therapy is doing nothing. When a therapy is working, it will reflect the issues that are properly being worked.
Awesome. All righty, we're going to move on to the next dream, and it's called Dogs, Kids at My Childhood Home, and it's by Christy. I was at my childhood home, but I was older and had just moved back in. Instead of my family there, it was Bill and Abby, our next door neighbors, still fairly estranged, and a bunch of dogs that morphed back and forth into little kids. The dogs slash kids and I kept going out in the backyard, but I wasn't too worried because the whole yard was fenced. I pointed out the pear tree my mom had planted when I was young, and it was full of fruit. There was a rickety-looking ladder next to the tree that looked too short to even reach the fruit. I went in and asked Bill about it, and he proceeded to tell me in detail how to pick the fruit. There you go, Michael.
So this one is also about the relationship. And we know it's about the relationship because Bill and Abby are a couple. And at least that gives us a clue. But there's a lot more goes on in the dream and tells us about it. Obviously, it's bringing her back to childhood, back in the family home and all that sort of stuff. Then we see dogs/kids. So dogs and dogs that are being corralled or kept on leash is always about intimacy in the relationship. But anyway, this first part here is about disconnect picked up in childhood. Questions?
So the dog's kids, so we got them morphing back and forth and they're going out into the backyard. So is this the past?
Yes, we know it's childhood because it's a childhood home. And then the backyard is the past as well. And then it's fenced. So we see the restriction on the dogs or/kids. So I picked up a restriction at a young age when I was in my childhood home.
Oh, excellent. Okay. What's the pear tree?
So we see fruit showing up in the dream, not just here, but it continues. And it's about intimacy in the relationship because we have the dogs that symbolize that too. But the pear is also like a pun on a couple. Like this pair make a good couple. And she's pointing out that the issues that she's got with picking a partner, forming a couple by pulling the pear, was laid down in childhood because of issues she had with her mom. Because she says her mom planted the tree. And then she has a rickety looking ladder next to the tree that looks too short to reach the fruit. So it's like there's no low hanging fruit. I got to raise myself up and I'm not sure that I can do this properly. I've got to raise my vibration, get to a state where now I can pick the right type of partner.
Oh, that's excellent. I like the way you did that. All right, we're going to continue on. All three of the dogs were in the backyard romping next to the back gate, and I noticed the bottom piece of wood had fallen off, so at least the littlest dog could get loose. I asked Bill if he had a hammer, and I tried to put it back on. He gave me an in-depth detail on how to do it, but never gave me a hammer so I could actually do it.
All right. So Bill told her everything about how to pick the fruit earlier and didn't pick it. So I asked her about Dad, and she says, yeah, Dad knows everything about everything, and not in a good way, but he won't do it for you. He'll never do it for you. So here we have her fixing a hole in the fence that the dogs could get out, or the smallest dog could get out. So it's like, I limit my intimacy from childhood because, again, that's what the dogs are about. It's all about relationships and intimacy in a relationship.
All right, we're going to continue on. I find it funny. He never gave her the hammer. The oldest dog came out and laid next to me, groaning and saying he overdid it. He thought he had eaten a cottonwood seed in his food. A woman next to me rolled her eyes, basically saying that was nonsense.
All right. So again, standing in for Dad, the dog groaning and complaining about, I've overdone it. So I asked, was that the way Dad was? And she said, yeah, Dad would complain about having too much of a good thing. Like it's a real first world problem, but you're going to complain about it. So that it really paints a terrible picture of this man. Complaining about problems, that's one thing, but complaining about having it too good. Crazy.
All righty. What's a cottonwood seed?
Well, the seed keeps it about intimacy and relationships. It's a bit like the fruit and so on.
Okay. We all came back in, and the dog's kids needed help climbing up the ladder from the back stoop up into the kitchen. As we went up, a teenage boy was handing me jars of berry jam and things that had been taken out into the yard. I stumbled over pieces of dog treats that were white and had blue and red lines running through them, and thought this must be what made the older dogs sick. All the adults were going out, and I was trying to get one of the bathrooms to clean up. I walked past Abby's bathroom and saw her putting on makeup in the shower. I commented on it, and she said, that's the best way to do it.
Every dream's about masculine and feminine. And so here, the jar is a feminine energy symbol. And so a boy handing her jars of berry jam, so we have the fruit in the jar as well, means her feminine aspect was tainted in her teenage years because it's a teenage boy. But the boy in the dream is healing that. So her view of intimacy and sexuality and being a woman was damaged at that age. and the dream is trying to heal it. In fact, the work she's doing on herself is trying to heal it. What else do we have? The putting on the makeup in the shower and the bathroom, like I said in the previous dream too, it's always about clearing everything that we've seen up to this point in the dream. So that's what it's trying to do. It's always a good symbol. And so Abby actually being in the bathroom is fine. So it's saying, look, the best way to improve your future, because doing the makeup is about facing the future, is to heal your past. So being in the shower to heal these things is the perfect thing to do.
All righty. So let's see. Helping the kids climb up the ladder.
So we saw the ladder first at the tree and the fruit. And she said she didn't think it could reach the fruit. And I said, what she has to do is work on raising her vibration so that she ends up with a better partner if she picks one again. And this is just continuing that theme, that she has to help her childhood, work on her childhood in order to be able to get up that ladder.
Wow, that's great. And then we have dog trees that were white and had red and blue lines. So I love to talk about the colors.
Yes. So anytime you see blue in a dream, you look at the other colors and you either add them to your philosophy of life, because that's what blue is about, or you subtract them. So red and white is one of the best color combinations in a dream. And it's about the need for joy and hope for the future. And so this is what the dream is saying. That's what you have to do. Part of raising your vibration is including in your philosophy of life this whole sense of joy and hope that the future is going to contain all of that for you.
Wow, that's cool. What a neat dream. All righty. Let's continue on. The next one is from Sean, and it's called Slow Driving Dump Truck and Selling a Barbecue Pit. I love these titles. Alrighty. I'm driving a car and I'm behind a large dump truck, like an oversized dump truck for a mine, going up a steep rock hill. We might be in a cave, but if we are, it's a very large cave. The scene reminds me of a rock quarry, and we're driving up the side of it. The road is very narrow, and the truck is traveling very slow. Normally, I'd be frustrated because it's going so slow, but it doesn't seem to bother me. There is another car behind me, and it seems like the driver is in a hurry and starts to try to pass us. I think, ooh, it's not worth the danger to pass on this narrow road with such a high drop off. Why not wait 5 or 6 minutes and be safe? The guy passes us anyways and nearly fell off the ledge. Ooh. The scene changes and I'm in front of a store, and I think I'm promoting a barbecue pit and showing how it works. I'm pointing out the thermocouple and wires because it's a safety feature that makes sure the flame is lit. Normally you see the thermocouple on a gas furnace or a water heater.
All right. So very easy interpretation. And what I like about this one is it links three different things. So we have the dump truck, which is to do with elimination system. The fact that it would be precarious or not safe to try pass on that narrow road. We have, I don't feel safe. And then we have the flame and the thermocouple with safety as well. So we have the safety backed up again. So it brings us to the heart and emotions and expressing yourself. So this dream connects Sean's elimination system issues with not feeling safe to express how he feels. I love it.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, we've got a rock quarry. What's going on with that? And going up a steep rock hill.
So it's the dump truck really is the thing. And he's saying this is what it reminds him of. It's not really, that's what it was in the dream. And I know what he's talking about. If you've ever seen a quarry and they have the smallest little road, just enough to get to the next part of it to be able to get at rocks and so on and transport them. But the transportation of these things, if that's what the road is about, is really about the movement through his body, the movement of waste, because it's a dump truck.
Interesting. And then what about the driver that passes and almost falls off?
This is his issue. So it's like it's a narrow road. I have problems with my elimination system. Not really big problems. Like it's not showing like, oh, you need to get help here. But there are issues. And so he's going to be aware of this in reality. But then we see it's not safe. So safety is a thing. And then we see the flame on the thermocouple and so on, those things being connected. And so he doesn't feel it is safe to express how he feels.
Wow.
Did I say feel twice? His
Yeah, a little
elimination
bit.
system issues are connected to not feeling safe to express how he feels.
Oh, now I get it. Okay. And then what about the 5 or 6? Are we talking karma or dharma or ages or what?
No, this is the suppression. Like, it's not worth it. I don't know why you would do this. You just like let things go by a little bit. It's not worth this hassle. But you see where he says, like, it reminds me of being in a cave, and then we have 5 or 6. This is a habit he's picked up from birth going forward.
Well, now it's time for the lovely Nicole to come on. Hi, Nicole. You want to tell us what's been going on?
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Michael. Today from the radio show Mailbag, let's take a look at the female aspect and female characters. So this aspect is dominated by the dreamer's mother, emotions, and the inner world. It includes caring, nurturing, loving, intuition, and so on. Problems with this aspect are shown with females who are ill, injured, disabled, drunk, things like that. So females in your dreams might indicate the feminine aspect of yourself. So here's a dream from a dreamer who wrote in that shows us a little bit about how this way of looking at women or feminine characters in our dreams can shed light on our relationship with our mother and with the feminine aspect more generally. And as I often do, I've cut out a couple of spots just to make it a little bit shorter for our purposes here. The dreamer writes, I was assisting a woman who was working on a movie set design. I was throwing a pinky orange substance onto a sloped area. The dreamer was able to sprinkle the substance all over this little hillside that she was on. And she writes, once the area was covered, we sprayed it with water. It was supposed to be green, but instead it turned a vibrant purple color. The woman left, and I was thinking, we need to fix this to be the correct color, I thought. I'll need to call someone who can help. So here we can see that the dreamer didn't get the kind of unconditional love that she needed from her mom. When I asked if perhaps she became a bit of a perfectionist or tried to control things as a result, she confirmed that she had actually just recently realized that she may expect perfection or control in ways that she didn't realize before. The dream is even tying these experiences to the dreamer's spiritual leadership gift. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Nicole. That was very interesting. Really appreciate you sharing that. All righty, everybody. Thank you and have an absolutely fabulous week. And I look forward to talking to you next week with some new dreams. Bye.
Bye.